Hi there! I am Veronica Montero, 20 years old from mga Pangasinan. In life, I've learned that I still have a lot to learn.
My name is Kim Christian P. Pagobo, age 22 years old from Cacaritan, San Carlos City, Pangasinan. And my motto is, learning is a lifelong process.
Hi, I'm Lena from Bautista, Pangasinan, and I've always believed that it is through learning new things in life that makes us grow.
I am Maria Micaela Erica B. Imos, 21 years old. I live at Palapar Sur, Malasiki, Pangasinan. My motto is, to succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal.
I am Rizan Herman, 21 years old, and I live at Cabayawasan, Mangataram, Pangasinan. My motto is, failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is enough.
I am Princess Sheila Z. Paragas, 21 years old, from Clemencia Street, Poblacion, Basista, Pangasinan. And my motto is, never stop learning because life never stops teaching.
The most significant part in the educational system are the assessments, where it gives an accurate picture of where the student stands. There are 10 principles for building a high-quality system of assessments. In the activity, you need to read carefully and understand the situations given in order to determine the principle present. High-quality assessments provide an academic checkup so students, parents, and educators understand how each learner's progress towards the goal.
For this activity, we are going to identify characteristics of good learning outcomes based on the given situation. Learning outcomes have certain characteristics. Good learning outcomes are centered on the students instead of the teaching technique. Good learning outcomes do not just based only on teachers but also on the program mission, a statement agreed upon by the program faculty. It must also be very well understood by teachers, and it includes a spectrum of thinking skills.
For the Module 1 Worksheet 3 Select or Deselect, in this activity there are 6 identified authentic assessment and 5 traditional assessment activities. When we say authentic activity, it is a type of exercise or evaluation that is based on the student's performance, self-knowledge, and skills. Students are asked to perform real-world tasks. Traditional activity, on the other hand, refers to the use of standard for learning. It is conventional method of producing paperwork assessment such as quizzes, exams, and papers.
In this activity, we are to construct our own scoring rubrics. 3 activities for process-based and 3 activities for product-based. Rubrics can be useful and beneficial in any classroom and at any level of education, but this must need to be properly administered. Scoring rubrics guide the analysis of the products or processes of students' work. Scoring rubrics could be general or task-specific, and analytic or holistic.
In this activity, we will create 2 performance task scenario and design it using Gruff's model. Gruff's model is an acronym for the process steps that define success criteria. By studying Gruff's model, we discovered how it emphasizes a variety of skills and the significant role of teachers in developing meaningful learning experiences. We also learned how it is used to structure performance tasks in such a way that both teachers and students have clear expectations and goals.
The Subject Assessment in Learning 2 teaches us that no single assessment can capture a student's full spectrum of learning and growth. Assessment plays an integral part in education system, as it gives an accurate picture to the students of where they stand. Through the dynamically changing pace of development in science and technology, changes have been embraced. Today, we do not only test and measure cognitive development, but also the affective and psychomotor development of the learners as well. All in all, assessment serves a variety of purpose and it is vital to the process of teaching and learning process. Happy learning!
Between the 2 types of assessment, we prefer authentic assessment because it allows us to be productive. We are being challenged and thus we explore, we learn, and we grow. It breaks the paradigm of where we view learning as just memorization.
Scoring rubric is a big help to educators to assess the performance of the learners. As a student, rubric serves as guide for us in order to come up with a better output or performance.
As a student, there is no better type of performance assessment between the two because both type of assessment is important. They both measure how well students apply their knowledge, skills, and abilities to authentic problems.
As students, portfolios helps us take ownership and responsibility of our learning process. It helps the teachers to monitor and evaluate learning progress. It also helps the parents to become more informed about the education and learning progress of their children.
Out of 5 activities, 4 of them are collaborative activities. In that, we learned that communication is important in order to come up with a good output. Sharing ideas, respecting one another, and teamwork is essential in doing learning activities, thus meeting the learning objectives.
This activity tends to enhance our analyzing skills. We observed a given situation and at the same time identify on what principle of high-quality assessment is best suited to it. Through this activity, we realized that principles of high-quality assessments are important as it provides an academic check-up so students, parents, and educators understand how each learner's progress toward the goal as well as it provides the teachers with ongoing feedback about the learner's progress. In particular, data gathered from assessments given throughout the learning process gives them the information they need to adjust their instruction.
We learn how to identify the characteristics of good student learning outcomes through the given situations. Moreover, all assessments and evaluation activities should start with the identification and clarification of the student learning outcomes. Good student outcomes are very specific and uses active language and verbs in particular that make expectations clear. Creating student learning outcomes is not just out of the blue or creating out of nowhere. It should possess certain characteristics because SLO serves as lodestars that will guide both teachers and students in activities leaning to the attainment of deserved learning outcomes.
Education today emphasizes the value of knowledge application in the real world. In this particular activity, select or deselect, I discovered how a particular activity can affect a child's learning. I realized that authentic assessment activities allow students to execute real-world tasks that demonstrate the application of fundamental knowledge and skills in meaningful ways, while traditional assessment is associated with predetermined choice of assessment. This activity helps us understand the difference between authentic assessment and traditional assessment. The purpose of traditional assessment is to evaluate if the students have learned the content. The purpose of authentic assessment is to measure the students' proficiency by asking them to perform real-life tasks.
For the Module 2 Worksheet 1 Rubrics Making, creating a rubric is not easy. While doing this activity, we challenge our mind on how to create a better rubric that will be used to assess students' performance. By using these rubrics, we will be able to know how the students perform on a certain task based on the criteria set. Rubric is not for making purposes, but to encourage a student to modify their work on a regular basis. In our experience as a student, having a rubric in every activity that we do is an advantage as it helps us self-assess our work prior to submission. Having chance to study more about creating a rubric has given us a better understanding of how we create a more meaningful performance-based assessment as a future educator.
After learning GRASS model, we realized that as future educators, we can use this in designing authentic performance-based assessment to monitor our students' learning progress. This is an excellent way to engage our future students to practice their skills in order to create a more meaningful learning experience. Through this activity, we better understood and apply our learnings about using GRASP assessment model. Educators can create opportunity for learners to develop metacognition through the use of GRASP assessment model.